Hi and welcome back to Rideau Knits. My name is Cassie and I am the maker behind this channel. I'm mostly a knitter, but I also crochet, sometimes sew, and maybe do a little bit of other crafty things. Welcome, and I hope you find something you like. All right, let's start with what I am wearing. This is, what's it called? The Erles kosegenser. It is a pattern from Rauma, I believe. Could be Garn. I don't remember. And it only comes in Norwegian. Inga of Knitting Traditions knit one of these and shared it on her podcast, which really inspired me to make one. And I just downloaded the pattern and then put it into Google Translate. I took a screenshot of it, I think, and I put it into Google Translate. You can translate just a picture. I have fiber tickling my nose now. To get English instructions. The English instructions are, the translated instructions are not perfect, but I know enough about knitting that I could kind of figure it out. And I did modify this a bit. So I used, what yarn did I use? Drops brushed alpaca silk. It is super cozy and super fluffy. So it is really oversized. It doesn't match with my clothes, but I'm wearing it because I just threw it on top. So it is very oversized, and it has these slightly balloony sleeves, and the sleeves are pretty long, so they go kind of over my hand, which is super snuggly. And I generally keep this on the couch to throw on when I get a little bit chilly. So I modified it by, what did I do? I knit it however long I felt like. I used a 3.5 and a 4.5 millimeter needle. Let me check my notes. Yeah, 3.5 and a 4.5, and I knit the size large, which is what it called for my bust circumference. And I modified the sleeves to be less balloony than it calls for. It calls for you to, I'm pretty sure it calls for you to knit it straight and then decrease to your cuff. But I did, let's see if I can show it. I did some decreases along the underside of the arm because I didn't want it to be this wide the whole way down. It was just, would have been way too wide for my liking. I can't wear this a ton because I have a little baby and the fibers, see how fuzzy? Can you see how fuzzy it is? And I don't want them to get all up in his nose and mouth. So I just leave it on the couch and try and pop it on whenever I get chilly and I'm not holding him or nursing him or whatever. I really, really love this sweater. Oh, and the color is Seafoam. I'm pretty sure it's the Colourway Seafoam. I'm a little scattered because he just went down for a nap, so I'm trying to get this in before he wakes up. All right, so now that we've talked about what I'm wearing, we can talk about my finished objects. I have 2 finished objects and 1 half finished object, but I don't have one of the finished objects here because it's in the laundry. So last episode, I talked about how I was knitting a sweater, a flax light sweater for my daughter in some cotton yarn. I did finish that and she has been wearing it. She is so excited to have her pink sweater, to the point where she got too warm to wear it, so she just brought it in her bed for her nap and used it like a blanket. So that is done. I'll insert a picture of what it looks like. It's just a plain raglan sweater, and she is very, very happy with it. All the details about it, because I don't remember the yarn. I think it was Hobbii Cotton Kings 8/4 cotton. in light pink, and I went up 0.25 millimeters on both the ribbing and the body needle from what the Flax light calls for, and I omitted the garter panel on the shoulders. So my next finished object is one that was not cast on last time I recorded. I asked for recommendations for a cowl pattern, and like immediately after I recorded, I watched Rebecca from the Crayabea's newest podcast episode, and she knit a Cargill cowl, which is her design, and it was like exactly what I was looking for, and so I cast one on. This is part of a gift for my mom. She is super, super knitworthy. All of the members of my family are. My parents and my sister are all super knitworthy. So this is what mine looks like. It has this beautiful dip stitch pattern on it. So it is a tube because it's a cowl. It calls for a 3mm needle and a 4mm needle, but I did 3mm and 3.75 because I really wanted it to be super, super dense. And it is. It's super cozy and dense and snuggly. And I can pop it on. And I did make a big modification to this other than the knitting needle. So it could be, I feel like I look like I'm robbing a bank or something when I wear cowls up this high. But it is for my mom, who will wear it like this because she is always cold and needs it for harsh Canadian winter. So I made a major modification in this, in that I included short rows. So if you, this is what it looks like from the side. So this is the back and the front, and I included short rows to bring the front down. So what I did was I did my short rows, one for every repeat of the pattern. So I did like one here, one here, one here, one here, until I had like 4 or 5 repeats at the front. And then I switched to the ribbing. So I did that to bring it down a little in the front. My mom, her neck gets cold. She doesn't like it when there's this part is not covered, which I find happens with cowls. They kind of scrunch up, and then you're left with, like, if your coat's not zipped up all the way, this, like, the part of the base of your neck gets cold, the top of your chest. So that's what I did. And I found it worked really, it worked really, really well. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And then I switched to the ribbing. And because I didn't want it to be cinched in at the bottom, I did not change needle size back to the 3mm that I used at the top. I kept the 3.75, and I experimented somewhat unsuccessfully with trying to get it to lay flat in the front. So what I did, this is the back, was I did some increases on either side of the back to kind of flare it out. And then I switched and I split and knit flat, which I should have kept with one or the other. I think if I was to do it again, I would have split higher up and not done the increases because it looks weird. I also decreased along the edge here so that it would lay just a little bit nicer. So I would have started that way up here. And what happened, I'm sure you can see it, when I was knitting in the round, my ribbing was all beautiful and nice and even, and this is blocked. And then at the bottom, it looks weird. One leg is way shorter than the other on every knit stitch. and it does not look as bad on the inside, but it's still like noticeable. It's a noticeable difference. Why does that happen? Does anyone know? What was I doing during that? Because my stitches don't look uneven in the round. So I don't know what I was doing because it's just 1 by 1 rib. Like, what? How? Why? Why? So that's disappointing. I did block it and pulled on it a lot, and I hope in hopes that it would even out, but it did not. So I'm very disappointed about that, but my mom saw me working on this because I was at the cottage last week, which is where my parents are living while their house is being built. And she watched me work on this the whole time. I did not tell her it was for her. I think I told her it was for me. And she tried it on and she really liked it. So she's gonna be excited to get that. And the yarn that I used, I can't forget that. The yarn that I used is Hobbie's Alpaca Silk, and it's a beige color. I don't know if I have the color code. Oh yeah, it's color 3. And I used, it comes in 50-gram balls. Words, Cassie. You can do it. You can talk. You're an adult. I used 157 grams, but I held it double to make it extra, extra thick. I'm pretty sure it is a fingering weight. There's 166 meters per 50 grams, and it is 70% alpaca, 30% mulberry silk. And yeah, it's super squishy, super soft. It has a little bit of a halo from the alpaca. I don't know if you could see that. Maybe not. But it is a little fuzzy, and I think it's gonna be perfect for super chilly weather. So that's my next finished object. And then I have a half finished object. So I am continuing on my Christmas sock saga. I did not bring them with me to the cottage because it's kind of obvious that they're a Christmas gift for the people that are that I was with. So I left them at home so they didn't get that much work, but I did finish one before I left. I don't remember how much of this I had done. But this is the sock for my sister, and I have one done. And this is using Hobbii Christmas sock yarn. It is a like 75-25 wool and nylon blend and self-striping. So it came in a 3-pack, which I don't have with me. And this is one of the colors. I think this is color 5. I think it was 4, 5, and 6. And these are the ones I knit for my mom. So this was colorway 4, this one is colorway 5, and then the ones I'm knitting for my husband are colorway 6. So I did 2x2 rib, plain stockinette. It is a 64 stitch sock on a 2.25 millimeter needle. And then I did a heel flap and gusset using a contrasting yarn. So here is my slip stitch heel flap, and I am using Santa's Garn. You can focus. Hello. Santa's Garn Sisu for the heel flap because I didn't want to interrupt the striped sequence, and it's just a scrap that I had in my stash in this dark gray color, which I think is color number 1088. And yeah, that'll take me into works in progress because I have cast on the second of the sock. I am about halfway through on the cuff of this one. So right now I have 3 socks completed of 12 adult socks that I'm planning on knitting. So I finished one on the cuff of the second one. And I also have sock for my husband. This is the third colorway, so colorway 6 from the pack. So far I have both of my mom's completed, half of my sister's completed, and then almost done one for my husband. So I am in about halfway, more than halfway done the foot of this one. What I did was a 2x2 rib for the cuff. I am knitting this as a 72 stitch sock on a 2.25 millimeter needle. And so I did 2x2 rib on the cuff, and then I switched to a 1x1 rib for the leg so that it would be super cinchy. And I am using the same contrast color for the heel flap and the heel turn. And I'm doing a gusset, and the 1x1 rib carries on the top, and it'll just be a normal wedge toe again. Look at this though. Look at this row counter. Oh, shadow. Okay, this is like the cutest thing of all time. This is a mini row counter. Focus. A mini row counter from Twill and Print. I absolutely love all of the stuff that she does. All of the stitch markers, all of the row counters, like just everything. I have so much of her stuff and I love it. She also makes bags, but like, look, it just has a little, okay, love it. Let's refocus on me. So that is my next work in progress. I am hoping to have this done in the next couple of days, hopefully. So I'm hoping I can have this one done, and then maybe I can also have the second one for my sister done by the next time I record in 2 weeks. I should be able to do that. That should be fine. I can do it. I just need to stay focused. Just like laser focus on knitting. All right. Next work in progress. I was putting this off the whole time I was at the cottage, and I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. It's because my needle cord wasn't long enough, and it made a huge difference when I switched cords. So this is a garment whip. This is the Maybury cardigan by Amy Lowden. Tailoress Studio on Instagram, I believe. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. And it is a half fisherman's rib cardigan, and I am knitting it in this black yarn. It is Lana Grossa Arioso in the black colorway. So I have finished the entire body, and I am about halfway, a little more than halfway done the first sleeve. The other sleeve is still on scrap yarn, and all my ends are still hanging out everywhere. But look at that squishy texture. I love it. I'm so excited to have this finished. Look at that raglan. Oh, I just love it. So it is a top-down raglan cardigan with a double knit button band that you knit as you go. And I'm so excited. It's gonna be super squishy, and lovely to wear. Maybe I'll try it on. I should be able to do that. So it's gonna block out, it should block out a little bit. This yarn is mostly alpaca, and it hits like at my waist, my high hip waist area. The sleeve is past my elbow. Take my hair elastics off. And yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. There are buttonholes, so I will be attaching buttons to it. I'm not sure what buttons I'm gonna attach yet, but I already love it. Like, I just want to keep this on all the time and like be super cozy. I can't wait to wear this to work. I'm a teacher, so I need like cozy teacher cardigans. And I think this fits the bill. So I'm very excited about this. I did cast on a new sweater. It's not actually a new sweater. It's a sweater that I ripped out because I didn't like the color combination and recast on with yarn that I actually like together. So let me, I'm taking out plants. Taking out plants. Put this guy back on. All right, so what I cast on is, if I can find it in this big bag, this is the bag that I keep it in. It had a little wood thing keeping it together, but my dog ate it. And this is a bag from Twill and Print. Let's see. There's her little logo on there. And it's a backpack. It's adjustable. It has these backpack straps. She hasn't made these in a while. But I love it. Waxed canvas, super sturdy. I have like 4, maybe 5, I think 4 of her bags. And this is also a pin from her, the little knitting gnome guy. I just love her stuff so much. She's on maternity leave right now, and so has not been doing as much, and I just want all of the things. So what I cast on from this giant bag of delight is the Whitmore cardigan. I was inspired by Amy of Knee Knits to cast this on. I really liked hers, even though hers didn't, she had to re-knit hers. And I'm sorry, I was very inspired to cast one on. So I am using, where's my labels? Santa's Garn. So I'm using these 2 yarns together. This wool is Santa's Garn Baby Wool Lanette. It is superwash, and it is 100% merino wool. 50 grams is 175 meters, and it is super soft and squishy. And I'm also using Santa's Garn Tin Silk Mohair. I'm pretty sure they're both in the same color number. It's 1053. This is 1053. And let me see if I can find a tag for that in this giant ball of bag of stuff. Tin Silk Mohair. Oh no. So this is what the label looks like. And the Tin Silk Mohair is 57% mohair, 28% silk, and 15% wool. 25 grams is 212 meters. And this is color 6707. And I got both of these from my local yarn store, Wool Time in Ottawa. it's not actually that local to me. It's like half an hour away, but no, it's not that far. So I had originally cast on with the gray wool and a white mohair, thinking that it would kind of tone it down. I used the mohair from my sewn cardigan, or that's where I got the mohair for my sewn cardigan, was what I had for this. And I didn't like the marled look. You couldn't really see the lace because the Whitmore has this beautiful lace all on the yoke. And so I ordered the gray mohair to go with it. And Wool Time had a deal where if you placed an order over a certain amount of money, which the mohair would have been, they sent you a free ball of sock yarn. So I got free sock yarn on top. And so this is what I have so far. I have finished the ribbing, which is done on a 3mm needle, I believe. And the main body is done on a 4mm needle with a double knit. No, it's not double knit. It's a ribbed button band, but it's done on an even smaller needle. So you knit the button band stitches and then you switch to the body stitches. So I am move this. My goodness, this is chaos. So 1 by 1 rib and then switched into the lace. One issue that I have with this, and maybe there's an addendum to the pattern, maybe there's a clarification from when I downloaded it, and I like to follow paper patterns, so maybe it's been addressed. But on one of the stitches, so you have these like center double decrease stitches in here, and then you have them on the wrong side as well. Can you see that? That's not the right spot. Right here. And the instructions just say to slip purlwise and then pass them over on the wrong side, which is the same instruction for the right side. And it does not do what it's supposed to do. So all of my center double decreases on the very first, like the wrong side way, did not turn out the way they're supposed to. I'm not going to go back and fix it because I really can't be bothered, but I feel like it should be adjusted. Maybe I'll send her an email. Maybe I'll double check before I start like flapping my gums about it. And maybe I'll send her an email and see, because I got confused. I did not do them right. I mean, that's also my own fault. I could have looked it up, but I didn't because I trusted the written instructions. Maybe I'm an idiot and I just can't read. So I'll look through it again. But I'm very excited to have this. This is my neckline so far. I can't remember what size I'm knitting. I think it's 6. Usually I'm knitting a 6 in things. And I don't have any of the details on my knit and know. Oh well. I should have it in here. I am knitting this size. Holy man. Why am I having such issues here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, size 6. Right now my bust is about a 44 inch. Depends on the day. And so that gave me very little positive ease, I believe. And yeah, I'm very excited to have this finished. I think it's gonna look so cute and I can't wait to wear it. But I need to finish my Maybury cardigan first. So I'm kind of using that as motivation so that I can then work on this. I want to finish. Camera, you cut me off. Rude. So I want to use my Maybury cardigan sleeve as motivation because I love knitting lace. I don't know what it is. There's something about the holes that are formed that I love it. I love knitting lace. I love following the like repetitive motion of following that kind of pattern. It's like, you know, knit 3, knit 2 together, yarn over or something. In my brain, I just love doing that over and over and over again. It's mindless enough for me to, you know, figure out the repeat and then do it over and over across the yoke. And it's mindless enough that I don't, like, once it's in my head, I can do it and read my knitting well to kind of know what comes next. But it's also engaging enough that I'm not like totally bored out of my mind. I don't know if you can hear that. There's like a gazillion geese out there. Hold on. Oh, brief goose interlude that I missed. There's like a bajillion geese. Let me adjust this again. There we go. So yeah, those are all the projects that I'm working on right now. I do have that crochet blanket that I showed in the last episode, but I have not worked on it at all. Yeah, that happens. And so yeah. Next thing I want to cast on is my mom's Haley slipover. But I don't know when that's going to happen. I'd like to finish the Maybury cardigan completely before I cast that on. So who knows, maybe there'll be a new cast on in the next episode, maybe not. But yeah, I'm just plugging away at all the things and I hope you enjoyed seeing all about them. And I hope you join me in the next one. Have a great day and happy knitting.